my YouTube channel. Another time to learn with OoloriOba, of course. And today we'll be learning Excel environment. Trust me, you do not want to learn your Excel formulas, so many formulas, understand so many things about Excel without knowing your Excel environment. Just imagine you stepping into a new place and you have no idea of where to go, what is happening, the language on how to communicate with people. So yes, it's the same thing. So we'll be learning our Excel environment to know how to interact freely with our Excel before moving and diving into various formulas when it comes to Excel. So stay with me. Now let's move down to the PowerPoint. This is a single worksheet and these are the things we would come across. The first thing we need to know is the active cell. Active cell is a cell which is currently selected. It will be highlighted by a rectangular box and its address will be shown in the address bar, which I'll be teaching very soon. So let's move to our Excel workbook. Here is our Excel workbook. And what do I mean by active cell? And we can see this rectangular box. Let me increase my screen. Yes. This rectangular box, you can see this is a cell. But the moment I input data into this part, it becomes what? An active cell. Let's move on to column. Column is also an interesting thing we need to know when it comes to Excel. Column is a vertical set of cells. Vertical. And what do I mean by vertical? Look at my screen. Vertical. This is what columns. Columns contains of attributes. One thing we need to understand, every column has its own alphabet for identity. And a single workbook contains alphabet A down to XFD. I'm on column A right now. If I move down to column D, this is column D. And I said a single Excel worksheet has from alphabet A down to XFD. And I'll show us XFD. This is it here. So that means if I have large data sets that would go from XFE, my Excel would know what? Accept it. So right now, this is what we mean by column. This is a single column. And a single column contains what? Attributes. Let's move down to the next thing for today. The next one we'll be learning is what? Our row. We'll be learning row. Row is a what? Horizontal set of cells. That thing I want you to take note of what? Row contains records. Our row contains records. So let's move down to our Excel workbook. Yes, this is an Excel worksheet. I've not renamed it. This is a worksheet. And let's confirm. Let's confirm the last part of our Excel. If I move down, I will see it. Wow! 1,048,576. You understand how it works? Let's proceed. Next thing we'll be learning is fill and do. Fill and do. And I want you to stay with me. Do not leave. Fill and do is a small dot present at the lower part of our active cell. A small dot present at the lower part of our active cell. So let's move down to what? Fill and do. What do we mean by fill and do? I want you to check this active cell where I inputted what? Data. And at the lower part, you will see a what? A square box. You will see a square box. This square box is what we call as fill and do. And the moment you click on the moment your mouse is on your fill and do, your mouse automatically changes to what? A cross. That shows you that you've been able to what? Locate your fill and do. Stay with me. Let's move on to the next part. The next thing we'll be learning is our address bar. Obviously, you want to know, okay, what cell am I on? And that is the interesting part of your address bar. Address bar is a small input bar at the left side of the window. And what does it do? What does it do? It shows the address of the active cell. Yes. And another thing I want you to take note of, when we're talking about active cell contains what? Column and row. Yes. An active cell contains what? Column and row. And our address bar will tell us the description. So let's move down to our what? Address bar. So right now I'm on my data. I'm still on data. And right now, to locate this particular part of my Excel worksheet, I understand that this is what? Column C. This is column C. But how do I know? Okay, column C what? What row then? This is column C, row 3. Column C, row 3. Column C, row 3. So now let's go to address bar. Let's see what address bar will tell us. This is our address bar. And address bar is telling me what? C3. Address bar is telling me C3. And for you to understand, okay, what then is C3? C is what? Our column. And 3 is what? Our row. So let's move down to the next part. Address bar. The next thing we'll be learning is our formula bar. So what is formula bar? Formula bar is an input bar below the ribbon. It shows the content of the active cell. I know when it comes to Excel, we want to what? We want to learn multiple formulas, we want to learn so many things when it comes to calculation. And for you to understand, okay, how then can I see a formula? In case I come across an Excel workbook, how then can I locate the formula that has been used? So let's move towards formula bar. So right now, I'm going to write something here. I'll input what? I've imputed 1 and I'll impute 5. I want to calculate 1 multiplied by 5. And I'm getting what? 5. Just assume you came across a new workbook. You don't know the formula that has been applied here. But you want to check your formula bar. So let's move down to formula bar. Over here, I'm seeing formula that has been applied. That easy, right? Yes. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next part. The next thing we'll be learning is what? Title bar. Title bar. And what is title bar? Title bar is a bar at the very top of what? Of an Excel workbook. And what does it specify? It specifies the file name of a workbook. That direct, right? Yes. It specifies the file name of a workbook. So how then can I identify my what? My title bar. So let's move down. Even from this PowerPoint, you would understand the title. See title bar now. Book 3 Excel. So let's move down to Excel workbook to check. So right now, this Excel workbook has been renamed only if I can spell training. So this is training for Excel. That's how it works. So let's move down to the next part. The next thing we'll be learning is our file menu. File menu. Enable you to perform file management function. Is that not interesting? So you can rename, you can save your workbook, you can print, you can do so many things. So let's move down to our file menu. So here is my Excel workbook, which has been renamed. And this is my file. The moment I click on it once, then I can perform so many file management functions. So here is a new to create new workbook. Here is open. Here is info. So if I want to rename this Excel workbook, I have a name not spelled correctly. So I want to rename this Excel workbook. I go to my save as, go to my download, then rename. Then you can rename to so many things. Maybe you want to duplicate the file, you rename the file, and I save. So many things we can do on our file management function. So I want us to explore around it. So let's move down to the next part. The next we'll be learning is our quick access toolbar. So what do I mean by quick access toolbar? And how can we locate our quick access toolbar? A toolbar to quick access the options which we frequently use. It's your quick access toolbar, so you can easily interact with it. So let's move down to Excel workbook and locate our quick access toolbar. So this is it here. This is my quick access toolbar, and from here you can see customize your quick access toolbar. So let's customize our quick access. So the moment you click on it once, it gives you so many options you can do. But right now I want to go to more command. From more command, you'll see different options over here. So right now I want to add in something I know that I might be using most of the time. Different options. But let's move on. I think I want to use my border. So the moment you click on border once, then you see this option add. You click on add. Once you click on add, the next thing you want to do is click on OK. And let's move down. Can you see this part? See my border. So how does it work? Let's just in case I want to add border lines to this part. I click on this border and it's giving me varieties of options. So I want to use this one. And let's see what happens. I've inserted border lines into my from column B down to column C. So I've inserted my border line from column B2 down to column B row 2 to my column C row 2. So let's move down to the next part. The next thing we'll be learning, and you might be wondering, probably as time goes on, you realize that the particular icon you inserted or you added to your quick access toolbar, probably you don't use it more often and you want to remove. So how then do I remove? I come down to my quick access toolbar, customize, click on the more command. From the more command, click on the borders, then select your remove, click on OK, and you're good to go. So let's move down to the next part. The next thing we'll be learning is our ribbon tab. And you might be wondering, what is ribbon tab? Specific option group which further contains option, like a subset. So let's move down to our ribbon tab. So from our file, Down to our view, this is what we call ribbon tab. Don't worry, you might not have a developer icon. You are good to go. You're still using the right Excel. So from my home, I can see various ribbon. I can see my font, alignment, number, down to editing. If I move down to insert, I can see pivot table, down to insert symbols, go to my text to insert objects. Even if you come to the view, you see different ribbon, different icon, different options that you can play around with when it comes to your Excel. So let's move down to the next part. The next one we'll be learning is worksheet tab. So what is worksheet tab? You might be wondering. Worksheet tab. This is number 11. So Excel workbook is essentially a file that contains one or more worksheets. Excel workbook is essentially a file that contains one or more worksheets. This is the Excel workbook I've been using, which I renamed as Training for Excel. This first one is a single worksheet. This is my Excel worksheet inside my Excel workbook. So I can rename this, double click, rename to you could rename it to anything you like. So this is sheet 1. You can rename it to anything of your choice. So I'll use page 1. If I want to insert another Excel worksheet, just click on this box. Click and you have new one. Click and you have new one. So that's how it works. So let's move down to the next part. The next thing we'll be learning is our status bar. It is a thin bar at the bottom of the Excel window. It will give you an instant help once you start working with your Excel. And it gives you like quick brief of your data. It gives you a quick brief of your data. So what am I saying? Let's move down to our status bar. I'll go to my page 1. So I want to highlight all of this. I want to highlight from column B row 2 down to column C row 2. Look at this lower part and you'll be seeing quick information like a quick brief. This is telling me average of the data I've highlighted is telling me the average is 3, the count is 2, and the sum is 6. That's how it works. We learned a whole lot today, and if you're watching this clip, thank you. If you're watching this clip, thank you. If you're watching this clip, I believe you've learned something. I believe you've learned something new. That was a short video, right? A short video. All right. Please do not forget to like this video. Subscribe if you are new. Share this video to somebody you know would be interested. Bring in people to this community. This will be the end of today's video. Till we see next time. Bye.